sponsored by Citizens Climate Lobby.
As the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022 awaits President Biden's signature, University of Utah student Hannah Rogers is here to share what she thinks about the bill and how she hopes it's going to help the climate. Welcome, Hannah. How you doing?
I'm doing quite well. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thanks for being here and interested in this. The Inflation Reduction Act of 2022 includes a lot of climate measures, which you wouldn't expect with a name. So tell me what the climate policies are in the bill that you support.
Okay, well, some of my favorite climate policies are that, first of all, it lowers people's energy costs, and that's a huge barrier to climate change mitigation efforts. By 2030, every American household will save around $200 a year, which is huge because if you can save people money while also saving the climate, that's like killing two birds with one stone. And then also something that's really special for Utah is that the bill also has a ton of drought relief. And as you as a Utah know, we experience a lot of droughts here. So that kind of funding can really help us here. And the last thing that I really appreciate about the bill is that it gives money to local communities to deal with their own environmental issues instead of just the government coming in and fixing our problems for us. Because if we're adjacent to it, we're the most adept at fixing our own environmental problems.
Gotcha. So with climate change, I can tell that you're passionate about that. What is it that appeals to you about addressing climate change?
Well, when I ever get that question, I always say, what doesn't appeal to me about addressing climate change? I believe that giving our future children and our grandchildren a planet that they can live on, that is stable, that doesn't have a ton of natural disasters, it's not a gift that we're giving them. It is our moral obligation to do so. It is our human duty. And I think that it comes from a very justice-centered standpoint. I think that we are obligated to leave the world a better place and that we have to. And then also, it's a huge national security threat. It's also a huge economic threat. So if I want to give my children and to live in give myself a world that I can live in that's stable, I need to focus on climate change. Gotcha.
So the actions and policies that you want to see from your party on these climate solutions, what are they?
Well, first of all, I would like the Republican Party to acknowledge that climate change exists. A lot of Republicans do, but so often, plenty of people either ignore the problem or pretend like it's a hoax, and it's not. So I want them to come to me with their conservative climate bills to solve climate change, because so often this narrative has been dominated by the left. And me, on someone on the right, I really want someone who I elected into office represent me and my interests in the sphere of climate. And so I want things that are business friendly and limited government and federalism. Those are the things that I really value.
I got you. So this climate bill, the Inflation Reduction Act, where can listeners go to get more, our viewers, where can they get that more information that they might be looking for?
Well, you can go to my organization, citizensclimatelobby.org/conservatives, if you're interested in the conservatives' perspective on the Inflation Reduction Act. Another thing you can do is just really educate yourself from really good sources. Listen to climate scientists, read things from economists. There's plenty of good information out there. But be careful about where you get your information as well. Not everyone who's saying something about climate change has the best interests or is the most credible source.
Amen to that, absolutely. Hannah, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate your time and good luck to you.
Thank you. I appreciate you too.